calls for reparation for enslaved men and women, and later their descendants, have been made in various forms since the end of the Civil War. But these demands had never been met by most governments. In a country like America, reparation has been focused to end slavery and inequality for the Black American. And right now, the momentum is on how to compensate the descendants of slaves with monetary value, more jobs opportunities, education, housing, and many others. During the Scramble for African era, the Europeans did not only forcefully take away the Africans as slaves into foreign land, but were exploiting their natural resources like gold, oil, timber, diamond, bauxite, and many others. And up to date, France is still exploiting many African countries, including Cameroon. One key tool they used was to impose their educational system to Africa and ask them to abolish their own indigenous knowledge practices, which was the core of African identity. The cultural artifacts, like the sculpture that many Africans believe in their spiritual ancestors, were looted and taken away by the Europeans to the foreign land. For over more than 120 years, that is more than a century, these artifacts have generated income for Europeans from generation to generation in their museums. The struggle for reparation is in multi-front, like ending slavery, monetary compensation, stop the exploiting of Africa, and the restitution of African artifacts is now gaining steam. Who owns the land?
Angola want to know who owns the land. Mozambique want to know who owns the land. Namibia want to know who owns the land. Soweto want to know who owns the land. Zimbabwe want to know who owns the land.
In 2017, during the state visit to Burkina Faso, the French President Emmanuel Macron declared that African heritage cannot solely exist in private collection and European museum. The next year, his government issued a report that shocked many in the museum world, calling for permanent return of looted art. France has seen repatriate dozens of major works to Senegal. In a published article by John Snowmore, academic scholar in art and culture, he examined the restitution and reparation options for cultural artifacts and empirical inquiry in South Africa, and determined that the value of cultural artifacts held in foreign collection and thus the urgency and the priority of their repatriation are very important. Who owns the land? In a similar way, and in 2021, the King of Fontaine, King Fontaine Assabaton from Cameroon in Africa, went with his notable and visited Germany and urged the director of the museum collection in Berlin to return the artifacts to the rightful owner due to its cultural and spiritual importance to the people of his kingdom.
Consider the invitation you extended to us as the beginning of the process of returning these artifacts and of ending the agony of the collective punishment which our ancestors and successive generations endured and are still enduring.
An emotional speech when the king described how he had been able to see the ancestral for the first time and imagine how long they had been in the foreign land, away from home.
Prior to being looted, a distinctive place of this artifact was at the entrance to Le Femme. It is a fearsome commander who was endowed with natural and spiritual powers. It was a spirit medium. Through it, enemies of the kingdom, evil spirits and wizards, as well as intruders, were prevented from gaining access to and desecrating the sacred ground of the Femme and harming the king and members of the Femme, who are distinguished leaders of the land. Looting and taking this artifact into captivity far from its natural environment deprived us of the natural and spiritual protection which were provided by our ancestors and by God.
All artifacts looted must return to the rightful owner. And reason why Lebang artifacts are so many and scattered around the globe will be on our next presentation. And remember, who is the rightful owner? Ernest Kumba for Gaza Media.
Give us the land.